They say a picture is worth 1,000 words. Now, with some calculations, a video has about 25 frames a second, and we want a 90-second video from you, so you have 2.5 million words at your disposal. Now, this is a lot of creative freedom that you can do to transport your message, but it can be also a little bit overwhelming to have all those options. That's why we created a little help for you and have this guide that teaches you how to selectively choose the information you present and create videos that are precise and concise. The basic structure we expect from you in the video is what, why, and how. First, you're gonna say what you build. Then you're gonna say why you build it, and then you're gonna explain how you build it. Now, the keen observer among you might see that this is a departure from the classical pitch structure, where you first start out with the why. Why is there a need for a solution? And then you go to the what. What solution did you actually create? This is not the best strategy when you present a topic in a video. People just have too short of an attention span online. So you gotta show the best image first. The thing you're most proud of comes in the beginning. The final prototype, the final results, the end product. Just don't be precious, spoil the surprise, tell the people from the beginning what's gonna be the most spectacular shot, and then you explain after. Once you establish the what, you can transition to the why. Why did you build a product? What was the context behind it? What was the original problem set? And what are the stakeholders involved? After you establish the why, it's time to move on to the how. Here you can explain your process and your learnings. For this section, we also want you to pick one of the Feasibility Lab design principles and show us how you applied it in your project. This should be really a central part of the storytelling in your video. But enough about structure. Here are 8 practical tips that will help you step up your filmmaking game. Number 8, film in landscape, not in portrait mode. When you film in portrait mode and you display the video in landscape, it will add black bars left and right to the video, and you will lose valuable screen real estate that you could fill up with information. Number 7, don't move the camera. Unmotivated camera movements are one of the biggest signs for amateurish, bad quality video. Unmotivated in this context means that the camera is moving without a reason from the storytelling. Let's see some examples. Somebody is running, for example, and you're following their movement with the camera. That is motivated. You want to show the movement of the person running. Somebody throws something and you're tracking the object with the camera and following it. That's also motivated movement. Now, if you just film and adjust the camera to get a better angle while something is happening, that is for sure unmotivated. You're moving the camera out of a technical reason, not because of a storytelling reason. Number 6, guide attention with framing. The way you frame your subject in the image actually influences where the attention of the audience goes towards. So for example, if you have your frame here and you frame your subject right in the middle, all the attention of the audience is gonna go to this middle point. But what if you don't just want to focus on the subject, but you also want to tell us about some movement or some directionality? Now we have an additional option with the rule of thirds. So if we take our frame again and we actually separate it horizontally into thirds and vertically into thirds, we get this grid structure with 4 crossing points. Now, if we want to frame a subject with implied movement or directionality, we can place them on one of the thirds of this point. So let's take, for example, a person running. I have to excuse my drawing skills, but good enough, right? So now the person is framed on 1/3 of the image, and 2/3 of the image here are empty space, or so-called white space. This is space where the person will go towards because of their movement. And because we have this ratio of 1/3 and 2/3, so most of the frame is empty and where the movement is going to go to, our brain kind of extrapolates very well that there is a motion implied. And you can use this for great effects in different situations. Number 5. Use all tools available. If you have a GoPro, use that GoPro. If your phone camera has multiple lenses, use all the lenses. If your cousin is doing makeup videos with a ring light, borrow that ring light. Just use every tool available to you. Number 4. Keep rolling. Ask anybody in professional video editing what they miss the most outside of Sunshine, and they will tell you that they are missing footage. You always need more footage. You always need more footage than you expect you would need. So take a lot of material from different angles and don't stop recording too early. Most interesting stuff actually happens after you press the stop button. Number 3, get close for audio. If you double the distance from your microphone to your subject, the audio quality isn't half as bad, it's 4 times as bad. This is because the relative audio quality follows the inverse square law. For you concretely, it means to always try to get the microphone as close to the subject as possible. Here I have the lavalier microphone that is directly at my collar and picks up the sound really close. If you don't have this, you can for example use an iPhone and record the audio for voiceover while the phone is really close to your mouth. Bonus tip, if you're recording voiceover, you can record against a fabric to swallow some of the harsh sounds that would otherwise show up on the recording. So you can take your iPhone for a voiceover recording into the closet and get a much cleaner sound out of it. Number 2, get the light source behind your back. Modern digital cameras aren't equipped to handle high contrast situations well. Let's analyze this image for example. We have a very bright spot with the window and the rest, the face of the subject, is very dark. Now here we're presented with a choice, with a trade-off that we have to do. We can either decide to expose correctly for the window, giving us all the information in the window, but then we lose the visual information in the face. Or we can correctly expose for the face and then the window gets completely white and we lose all the information there. Now, what's better is to not have this trade-off at all. If we turn around the situation and place the light source behind the back of the camera person, suddenly the whole scene becomes less high contrast because you have even lighting on the subject's face and on the background. And number 1, break all the rules. Those rules are just meant as guidelines to help you if you have a situation where you have a hard time deciding. But if you really know what you're doing and then if you have good motivation, meaning that it's not random, go nuts, do whatever you want. I hope you learned a lot and I'm very excited to see what kind of videos you're going to present to us.